Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Do they really expect us to believe that everything we've been learning for over a year now, it's just coincidence? Everything with Jay Clayton, all of his positions having to do with Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then him leaving the SEC a little over a year ago, and then jumping into the crypto space. And it just so happens that not just his expertise, but the policies that, quote unquote, policies that were set under his lead. I use the term lead loosely, of course. All of that would ultimately monetarily benefit. Is this coincidence, the fact that all this would monetarily benefit him? Or what about old Billy Hinman, former SEC director? His old law firm, Simpson Thacher, had an interest, of course, in the enterprise Ethereum license. Billy Hinman moves on to the SEC, gets paid by his former law firm to the tune of $15 million. It's public record, as reported by attorney John Deaton, and sets policy that, of course, would benefit his previous law firm. Then he goes back to his law firm after he leaves the SEC. Is this just coincidence? Nothing to see here. Nothing. And what about the way that everybody's speaking? What about responses that seem canned? Responses that seem scripted? Nothing to see here. Just a coincidence. If you see that, you guys are crazy conspiracy theorists. Well, I'll tell you what. I think that, in general, the vast majority of conspiracy theories out there are complete bogus garbage. I don't even know whether or not the right term here is even conspiracy theory. What I can tell you, because then we're just getting into semantics. We could talk about the definition and then agree or not agree upon that. But what I can tell you, regardless of whether or not we want to use that term, is that there's just a striking number of very fortunate things for certain people, and it just happened to pan out this way. And the way people are talking, it just happens to be similar group thing, and they all happen to know each other. And they happen to have very similar scripts. Just coincidence. Nothing to see here, though, right? Is that what we're to believe? Because, look, there's not sufficient evidence, as far as I'm concerned, to prove that anything illegal was done. But there's so many coincidences and so many fortunate opportunities for so many of these people from a financial perspective that I can't believe that everything is coincidence. I simply don't think that's the case, which is why I think it would make sense to have an independent, just a third-party investigation. And I don't know for sure what entity would be best suited to do that, but I'm with John Deaton in calling for that. That would be absolutely fantastic. Is it going to happen? Not holding my breath. But in the meantime, this is why everybody in the community is continuing to highlight all of the nonsense that's been unfolding here. And so I've got some stuff today I'm going to share with you. A specific example of what seems to be just this canned response having to do with the SEC's approach to crypto. And also, I don't think this is going to surprise anybody, take a look at this headline from Reuters. Exclusive. SEC's internal watchdog kept job despite serious misconduct finding. Folks, what in the ever-loving hell is going on at the SEC? Is anybody surprised by a story like this? It's pretty gross. I've read this thing. I'm going to share with you select portions of it. It's not good, but I don't think it will surprise you. What the hell kind of organization is this? I want to be clear. I do not have a legal or financial background of any kind. I am not offering legal or financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. Shout out to XRP community member Tag XRP, that's on Twitter, at TAIGXRP. Recommend giving this fellow a follow if you've not yet done so. And by the way, if you're not on Twitter, look, I know it is indeed a cesspool, but I tell you what, I have been on it now for over 4 years, and I don't regret it. It's like I always thought it was still as I'm a man at the time in my mid-30s. I'm going to join Twitter, social media. I was like, this is ridiculous. But I did it purely to engage with XRP community members, and it's perfect. There's all sorts of normal, nice people in the XRP community, so if you've not yet done it, just something to think about it. It doesn't take long to sign up, and you can meet all sorts of people that have a similar interest to you. That's all I'm saying. You can do it if you want to, don't if you don't. But if you do, give me a shout out on Twitter, and if I catch it, I'll give you a follow. But anyway, here's what Tag XRP said. Please feel free to share this with Katie Hahn. So pause. Katie Hahn, this is her profile here. I've not yet been blocked. But these people, they will block anybody that just... it's not like we're even being aggressive or anything. We're just speaking the truth, just sharing video clips and stuff that they from their own lips, stuff like that. These people seem to not like this. So I've not been blocked, but I've heard all sorts of people getting blocked by Catherine Hahn here. She's on the board of Coinbase and former partner at Andreessen Horowitz. That's A16Z. And so anyway, Tag says, please feel free to share this with Katie Hahn. She blocked me on Twitter for asking tough questions, so you'll have to copy and paste or screenshot the picture as her own separate tweet. She was meeting with officials at the SEC. We have proof. And so Andreessen Horowitz are already well aware that they've certainly, as I've been highlighted on this channel, everybody else in the community has as well, clearly seem to have had an influence on the SEC's approach to crypto, let's say. Pretty fair to say, right? Well, here's the graphic that was shared by Tag, and this is a quote from Katie Hahn, and I did hear the clip myself. She did say this. This is verbatim. We don't want regulation to outpace understanding, and if you had a law about cryptocurrencies or blockchain passed a year ago, it would have been completely outdated today. And so there you go. There's a call, and somehow makes logical sense to some of these people. It's a call to not provide clarity to the space because things are happening so quickly and we can't nail this thing down. It's just, it shifts so quickly. Even if we try to take approach, it'll be for nothing. Oh my gosh. Because here's what's happening. When you say something like that, you're admitting you can't do your job. That is what you're saying. No, we're not going to provide clarity to the markets. Why would we want to do that? We're the SEC. We're just going to not do our job. And this makes logical sense to them. What the hell kind of echo chamber must you live in where you think that and you hear it from others in your circle and you're like, yeah, that makes logical sense. That's fair. That's reasonable. No, that harms investors and market participants, entrepreneurs in the United States. No, that's not okay. Provide some freaking clarity. So that is wrong. Absolutely wrong. And so there's this individual, a former commissioner of the SEC. This is who she seems to be parroting. Commissioner Robert J. Jackson Jr. And he was a commissioner of the SEC from January 11th, 2018 until February 14th, 2020. So he left before the SEC versus Ripple case was even voted on. But I've seen him before. I've highlighted him on the channel. This is him right here. And I transcribed a clip from a video that was also shared by Tag. So again, more credit to Tag where it is due. And so here's the quote. This is from Robert Jackson. If you and I could agree on what the rules should be, by the time it became law, it would be a year later. And by that time, the ground would have moved underneath us. So, if you sense, at least from my point of view, a wanting to give this some time to figure out and do it by guidance as opposed to rule, that's what's driving us. And there you go. He admitted exactly what we've been saying. Providing guidance. But how did they give guidance given that there's no official SEC position? That's right, they trotted out old Billy Hinman. They trotted him out, and it was positioned as if what Bill Hinman said was official decree from the SEC, but it wasn't really. There's always that little asterisk, just my personal opinion, right? Well, here you have Robert Jackson admitting it. The cat is officially out of the bag here. Katie Hahn said the same damn thing. They're in the same circle. And it is not logical, and it is not right. Because here's the thing. When it comes to, you absolutely could have clear rules, policies, regulations, laws in place to sufficiently and accurately in a reasonable way, regulate this entire space, including from a securities perspective. He's saying, I can't do my job. Then get the hell, well, he is out, thankfully. Anybody that thinks like that should not be working at the SEC. Oh, I can't do my job, so we're just going to regulate by enforcement then. Hell no. That's disgusting and repulsive. Absolutely not. He's acknowledging, can't do his freaking job. And it's, because here's the thing. You could get 90% of the way there or more simply by acknowledging that if a cryptocurrency is sufficiently decentralized, that it doesn't meet the four-prong Howey test. It doesn't, because there can't be a common enterprise if a cryptocurrency is decentralized. So then you got most of your work cut out for you. You need to just define what it is to be centralized versus decentralized. And you're telling me you can't do that? This asset class has been around for 13 years now. It's Bitcoin's birthday today. 13 years. And that's not enough time to learn what is decentralized or centralized? And some of it, fine, it comes down to subjective opinion. Have some rules of the road, though. That's the point. Define it. It's up to you. It's your freaking job to come up with this. Really grinds my gears, folks. Then into this from Reuters, because the SEC is awful. Exclusive. SEC's internal watchdog kept job despite serious misconduct finding. And this is from December 7th. This is the first I saw this. And I feel like I pretty well got my pulse on the XRP community. Not that I'm not a know-it-all. Don't take that wrong. I'm just saying, like, I didn't see anybody circulating this within the community until today. So maybe I missed it. But this popped up and I was like, yeah, this makes sense. Let's talk about this. This is from December 7th. As the Inspector General at the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, Carl Hocher leads investigations into wrongdoing by agency staff. In one case, however, it was Hocher himself, who was under an investigation, one that concluded in 2019 with a recommendation that the agency consider firing him for serious misconduct, government records reviewed by Reuters show. The agency instead decided in May 2020 to suspend Hocher without pay temporarily for an undisclosed period. He's back on the job as the Wall Street regulator's internal watchdog. This is the internal watchdog. Oh, don't you feel safe here? Don't you feel safe? Oh, this lovely SEC organization. It's self-monitoring. We're good, right? Peace continues. The investigation into Hocher was overseen by the Integrity Committee. Integrity Committee. Got some integrity. A federal panel that examines allegations of wrongdoing against inspectors general. Its findings have not been previously reported. The committee concluded that Hocher abused his authority by conducting a remarkably biased and flawed internal probe into allegations against two of his employees who had also worked for Hocher at another agency. The Inspector General's investigation, which involved an alleged adult relationship between the employees, created the appearance that he attempted to conceal potential wrongdoing by the two staffers, according to the committee's report on its investigation into Hocher, which Reuters obtained through a public records request. The committee also found that Hocher misled investigators, displaying a lack of candor throughout the review. In addition, Hocher improperly confronted and questioned a witness, one of his subordinates, about what she had told the committee's investigators, the report said. Hocher abused his authority in the exercise of his official duties and engaged in conduct that undermines the independence and integrity expected of an inspector general, and the committee concluded in its report. It recommended that the SEC take appropriate disciplinary action for his serious misconduct, including removal, according to a summary of the case in an annual government report. Yeah, well, that didn't happen, did it? SEC, everybody, this is your SEC protecting investors, protecting us, the little guys out there. Oh, thank you, SEC. Here's an entire bag of eggplant emojis for you to put in and around your facial region. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.